America. Royal fever, brand new details about the royal engagement, and the new American princess, Meghan Markle.
She didn't even let me finish. She said, can I say yes, can I miss out? And then there was hugs.
How Prince Harry popped the question, and Princess Kate's message this morning. Plus, new images just revealed behind the scenes with a very happy couple.
President Trump heading to Capitol Hill for a crucial meeting, trying to push through his tax cut plan and prevent a government shutdown. As Congress faces that growing crisis over sexual misconduct allegations, a new accuser comes forward overnight.
Desperate search, a 3-year-old disappearing, snatched while she was sleeping. Her mother's emotional plea.
Please bring her back, and I love her. I'll do anything that I can.
Now the FBI investigating.
And record-breaking savings, the massive Cyber Monday boom. Which items are topping everyone's holiday list? In a huge way, you can still score big this Travel Tuesday.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
And we do say good morning, America. There aren't just travel deals today. It's also Giving Tuesday. It's a global movement to give back. You can do it with your time. You can do it with your voice. You can do it with your wallet. A lot of charities are promising matching gifts, and we'll have much more on that ahead. And we also have a special surprise for a very deserving mother.
It is a very special day. It's a great movement going on. A lot of excitement still about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Take a look at this photo. This was the one put out to make the announcement on the Kensington Royal Instagram account. Most liked ever, 440,000 times, 449,162 to be exact.
And counting.
And a very happy-looking couple.
Yes.
They should be happy because Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, they sat down for a very revealing interview. And we're now learning more about their wedding, their life of the couple, their proposal, and of course, everybody wants to know about that ring. Amy Robach is at Kensington Palace with the reaction in Britain this morning. Good morning, Amy. How's everybody doing over there with this royal news?
Oh, everyone is so excited, Michael. And as you might imagine, the cover of every single newspaper here in London has the happy couple's picture on it with multiple headlines. This one, the look of love. She's the one. But I got to tell you, this one's my favorite. The corgis took to her straight away. Yes, even the Queen's dogs giving the soon-to-be American Princess Meghan Markle their seal of approval. And that is a sentiment seemingly shared by all of Great Britain. This morning, a candid glimpse of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Several minutes of previously unseen footage from the couple's first interview shows them laughing and teasing each other right after the interview ended. This as reaction to the royal engagement pours in from around the world. Former President Obama tweeting his congratulations, writing, "Michelle and I wish you a lifetime of joy and happiness together."
When did you send that letter?
Even Meghan's former on-screen love, posting a photo of the princess-to-be saying, "Your Royal Highness, you are a lucky man, and I know your long life together will be joyful, productive, and hilarious." Just hours after their big announcement, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle sat down with the BBC, revealing how Harry proposed.
She didn't even let me finish. She said, can I say yes, can I miss out? And then there was hugs, and I had the ring in my finger, and I was like, can I give you the ring? And she goes, oh, yes, the ring.
It's a cozy night. It was what we're doing, just roasting chicken and
roasting
having
trying to roast chicken.
Trying to roast a chicken, and it was just an amazing surprise. It was so sweet and natural and very romantic. He got on one knee.
Of course.
They both say the royal family has embraced Meghan.
I've been seeing her for a period of time when I literally didn't tell anybody at all, and then William was longing to meet her, and so was Catherine. So, you know, they're being our neighbours. We managed to get that in a couple of, well, quite a few times now. And Catherine's been absolutely
wonderful,
amazing, as is William as well. You know, fantastic support.
What do you think your mother would have thought of Meghan or said about Meghan?
Oh, they'd be thick as thieves, without question. I think she would be over the moon, jumping up and down, you know, so excited for me.
That ring, designed by Harry himself, a symbol of their love with a nod to Harry's late mother.
The ring is obviously yellow gold, because that's her favourite. And the main stone itself, a source from Botswana. And the little diamonds either side are from my mother's jewellery collection, to make sure that she's with us on this crazy journey together.
Beautiful ring there was. And Amy, the engagement, the first step, but what more do we know this morning about the wedding plans?
Yes, well, local networks here in London, Michael, are reporting that more details of Prince Harry and Meghan's wedding will be released. Wait for it in just a few hours. We have been told to expect a statement here from Kensington Palace that will likely include the wedding venue and perhaps even the date of the wedding. We know that the Archbishop of Canterbury has already indicated the couple will be married in a church. Which one? We'll have to wait and see, guys.
And you'll be right there for it all, Amy. Thanks so much.
They don't waste any time, do they?
Yeah, not at all. We're going to check back with Amy in a little bit. But back here at home, Congress is facing that growing crisis over sexual misconduct allegations. And this morning, a new accuser coming forward against Democratic lawmaker John Conyers. Our senior congressional correspondent, Mary Bruce, is on Capitol Hill with those details for us. Good morning, Mary.
Robin, good morning. This new accuser tells us it's been a long, painful journey to get to this point, but that she's speaking out now against her former boss, John Conyers, to throw a grenade into the system and help other victims. Overnight, another former staffer coming forward with new accusations of sexual misconduct against Democratic Congressman John Conyers. Deanna Marr, his former chief of staff, says he made several unwanted sexual advances. Marr tells ABC News there are so many victims that passed through Conyers, and he was so cruel. Everyone knew what was going on, but no one did anything. At the time, I could find my way out of circumstances, and he never succeeded with me. Never. I finally gave up and was able to move away. I survived it. Marr first telling the Detroit News in the late 90s Conyers touched her when they were riding in a car together, saying he was trying to feel me up. A year later at a meeting, she says he put his hand up my dress and whispered in my ear, "I didn't know you had such great legs." Conyers, the longest-serving congressman, is already under fire for secretly paying $27,000 to settle a harassment complaint from another former staffer. Conyers denies the claims. At first, Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi struggled to explain why Conyers isn't being held to her own zero-tolerance policy.
We are strengthened by due process. Just because someone is accused, and was it one accusation? Is it two? I think there has to be. John Conyers is an icon in our country.
But now, after speaking to Melanie Sloan, another one of his accusers, she's backtracking. I find the behavior Miss Sloan described unacceptable and disappointing. I believe what Miss Sloan has told me. Now, Conyers' office has said he has no plans to resign, but he is stepping down from his leadership position on the House Judiciary Committee pending an ongoing ethics investigation. Now, of these new accusations, his lawyer tells the Detroit News, at best, they are uncorroborated. At worst, they're just not believable. George.
Mary Bruce, thanks very much. Sexual misconduct allegations have also rocked the Alabama Senate race. Roy Moore was back denying the charges on the campaign trail last night as a Moore ally was caught trying to plant false stories with a newspaper that first reported the allegations. ABC's chief national correspondent Tom Yamas here with the latest. Good morning, Tom.
And George, we have the video where they confront that woman with the bogus story. This as the Roy Moore campaign is trying to push past those allegations. Last night's rally, just one of several he'll be hosting this week.
Overnight, Roy Moore making his return to the campaign trail in Alabama, hosting his first rally in more than 2 weeks.
These things are simply what Alabama citizens generally don't like and shouldn't like. This is corrupt politics.
The Republican Senate candidate battling allegations he molested 2 female teenagers and dated high school girls when he was a local prosecutor in the late 70s.
These allegations are completely false. They're malicious. Specifically, I do not know any of these women, nor have I ever engaged in sexual misconduct with any woman.
Moore out in front of voters and on the air with a new TV ad.
False allegations, a scheme by liberal elites and the Republican establishment to protect their big government trough.
But 8 women have come forward to tell their stories of Moore's sexual misconduct. And while Republican leaders in the U.S. Senate say they believe the accusers, President Trump is sticking with Moore.
He denies it. And by the way, he totally denies it.
And in a sign of just how ugly this race has become, the Washington Post, the apparent target of a plot to discredit their Moore reporting. But the paper turning the tables on a woman who claims she had a dark story about Roy Moore. The Post says they figured out the woman was a fraud, out to embarrass the reporters with a bogus story. The Post says they found a GoFundMe page where the woman had posted how she yearned to fight the mainstream media.
Do you still have an interest in and working in the conservative media movement to combat the lies and deceit of the liberal MSM. Is that still your interest?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Shortly after, the woman leaving the meeting, saying she no longer wanted to answer questions. And the Post says they also witnessed that woman walking into the New York offices of a group that tries to discredit media organizations. One last note on Roy Moore. I asked the campaign if they were upset the president wasn't coming down to campaign with them. They told me they're just thankful for his support.
That they are. Tom Yamas, thanks very much.
And George, now to what could be a major development in the Russia investigation. New indications former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn may be trying to make a deal with Special Counsel Robert Mueller. Our chief investigative correspondent, Brian Ross, is here with those details for us. Good morning, Brian.
Well, good morning, Robin. If General Flynn becomes a government witness, it would be a huge step forward in the Russia investigation.
The next president of the United States, right here.
He worked for Donald Trump throughout the campaign.
Donald J. Trump.
And even after he was forced to resign for lying about his contacts with the Russians, the president defended Michael Flynn.
I don't think he did anything wrong. If anything, he did something right.
And according to the former FBI director James Comey, the president wanted to end the investigation of Flynn.
I understood him to be saying that what he wanted me to do was drop any investigation connected to Flynn's account of his conversations with the Russians.
But the investigation continued, and now Flynn, concerned that both he and his son, Michael Jr., could be prosecuted, has signaled he is open to a deal that could make him a government witness. On Monday in Washington, Flynn's lawyer met with the special counsel's team, and he had already cut off communications with White House lawyers. In an earlier statement, the lawyer said, General Flynn certainly has a story to tell, and he very much wants to tell it should the circumstances permit. What's next now? Both sides have to show their cards. According to people briefed on the case, prosecutors will tell Flynn what charges they are prepared to bring, and he will provide what's called a proffer, detailing what information, if any, he has about wrongdoing in the Trump campaign or the Trump White House, Robin.
And a top aide to the president is expected to be interviewed by the Mueller team?
That's right. Hope Hicks, the White House communications director, expected to be interviewed sometime this week.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Also this morning, President Trump pushing hard to get his tax plan passed by Christmas, heading to Capitol Hill to rally Senate Republicans, and he'll host the top 4 leaders of the House and Senate Republicans and Democrats at the White House, hoping to strike a deal that will prevent a government shutdown. Funding runs out on December 8th if there is no deal. Let's bring in our chief political analyst, Matthew Dowd, and Meghan McCain from The View. Welcome to you both. And Matt, let me begin with you. We've been focusing rightly on the sexual harassment and misconduct allegations on Capitol Hill, but these meetings today, so crucial, such massive business affecting everyone in just the next few weeks.
Yes, George, even if you take what's going on in foreign policy with what's happened in North Korea, the Russia investigation, everything that's going on in the world, and what's happened in Puerto Rico, where we still have thousands of people without drinking water and running water and electricity, we have a budget that is out of control. We have a government that may shut down, and we have a healthcare system that is still broken and needs fixes in this process. This White House can't seem to focus on what fundamentally is seriously wrong in America today.
And Meghan, Republicans desperate for a win. They need to get this tax plan passed.
Yeah, I think the $64,000 question is, are we going to learn the lessons of the Obamacare failure of repeal and replace? At this point, I agree with Matt. We are so desperate for a legislative win going into midterms that I don't have high hopes that the president has necessarily learned to work with Mitch McConnell to whip up the votes needed. I guess stay tuned. But if there is a government shutdown, I think all bets are off.
All bets are off, and we should know more about that later today. Meantime, the president raised a lot of eyebrows yesterday with this comment at a meeting of Native American heroes. He was honoring Native American war heroes, and he had this comment about Senator Elizabeth Warren.
You're very, very special people. You were here long before any of us were here. Although we have a representative in Congress who they say was here a long time ago. They call her Pocahontas.
Actually, Meghan, it's the president who calls her Pocahontas.
This never stops being uncomfortable for me to watch. The Navajo code talkers are some of our greatest heroes from World War II. And I think bringing up, this sort of gross political term that's used against Elizabeth Warren in this context is particularly in poor taste. I will say, if Democrats want to put up Elizabeth Warren for 2020, this is just a preview of a small token of what it's going to be like.
And Matt, not only did the president say that, when the White House press secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders was asked about it later, she went on to attack the senator.
This is unreal. I totally agree with Megan. Not only did he say that, which is considered by many a racial slur, he was standing in front of a portrait of Andrew Jackson, who signed the Indian Removal Act that basically led to the Trail of Tears and basically a death march for these people. This White House is Wile E. Coyote. Every time they have a layup, they blow themselves up.
I guess that's going to be the last word from Matt Dowd this morning. Matt Dowd, Meghan McCain, thanks very much.
All right, there, George. Now to that desperate search in North Carolina for a 3-year-old who disappeared in the middle of the night. ABC Steve Osunsami has that story.
The FBI is now working with North Carolina authorities searching for this 3-year-old girl who disappeared from her bed early Monday morning.
I love her. I would do anything. Just bring her home, please, safe and sound. She's my baby. She's my everything.
The mother of 3-year-old Mariah Woods says her boyfriend last saw her daughter around midnight in their mobile home when the girl woke up and he told her to go back to sleep. When the child's grandmother went to wake her up in the morning at 6:45, she was nowhere to be found. The search has centered around their home and the nearby woods. Helicopters, sheriff's deputies, and firefighters have joined in the search. The state is running an Amber Alert this morning. The girl's mother is praying that whoever may have taken her little girl will bring her back safely.
Just to be able to touch her and hold her and not let her go again. I'd give anything.
Authorities are now asking families in the area to search their yards and their sheds. Part of the search area is on Camp Lejeune, and the base is now helping with the search. Robin?
Hope she's found safe and sound. Thank you so much, Steve.
All right, Robin, we're going to turn now to the record-breaking Cyber Monday, becoming the biggest online shopping day in U.S. history. Rebecca Jarvis is here. She's going to break down what everybody was buying. Good morning, Rebecca.
And boy, were they buying. Good morning, Michael. Yes, Cyber Monday, one for the history books, the biggest day of U.S. online shopping ever. $6.6 billion spent online. That is up 16.8% from last year, according to Adobe Analytics. Plus, how we're shopping online is changing. More than half of Cyber Monday shopping happened from the palm of our hand, either on a smartphone or a tablet, Michael.
Everybody's gearing up for Christmas, but which retailers really won today?
Amazon was a huge winner. There were a number of big retailers that won, but Amazon, the biggest retailer of the day. Some of the top sellers: Google Chromecast, Apple AirPods, Sony PlayStation. In toys, Hatchimals and Collectibles, Funko Pop and LOL Surprise. Don't you guys love these names, by the way, the new toys of our day? And as you can imagine, Amazon, huge winner of the day.
Used to be Clue and Monopoly, and now it's all the other things.
Exactly.
But you know, the deals,
LOL Pop.
LOL Pop. But the deals aren't over. What should people be shopping for now?
So in addition to Giving Tuesday, because a lot of charities are now matching, it is also known as Travel Tuesday because it's one of the best days for travel deals when airlines offer major discounts because travel demand tends to die down from Thanksgiving. We found some incredible trip tickets using the Hopper app. Minneapolis to Orlando, Florida, $165. I want to make sure we get this one in. Fort Lauderdale from Chicago in February, $67 round trip.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. Good deals.
You don't have a reason to go, but it makes you want to buy the ticket. Hi, Rebecca.
Thank you, Rebecca. Let's get back to Ginger.
And George, record highs broken or tied from Yuma, Arizona to St. Cloud, Minnesota, all the way into the 50s. And now that November heat, late November heat, is moving east. Look at some of those numbers as we get into this midweek. Let's get to the Tuesday trivia now, brought to you by Cosequin.
Why do Sophie and Sadie take Cosequin? So they can climb up those stairs and snuggle in for the night. Seriously? Keep them moving with Cosequin Joint Health Supplements. Why does Oscar take Cosequin? So he can jump up and get to know the new boyfriend. Good boy.
Cosequin Joint Health Supplements make a great stocking stuffer.
Well, today's weather going to be kind of a repeat of yesterday. Lots of sunshine. It's cold now, but we are going to warm up to about 61 degrees later this afternoon. Tonight, clear, 43 in the city. We'll get into the upper 30s in the suburbs. And then tomorrow, another equally stunning day, sunshine and 62. We will have a weather front move through Thursday. Temperatures mid-50s, a little bit more cloud cover, maybe a sprinkle while you're sleeping. But we're a little cooler. Friday, nice and dry as we head into the weekend. Perfect for our Toys for Tots drive at the National Harbor on Saturday.
Coming up, we'll go back to Amy across the pond. Princess Meghan Markle making history, her path to the palace breaking barriers along the way.